that's coming into the leeward pin and they're on starboard. Maybe they didn't go off to the corner and they actually jived over and took advantage of the right side of the course and they come in. The same rules apply. That's a
You're
that's
the
a
outside boat.
outside boat.
Gotta stay outside.
Got to stay clear of the mark.
And with this one, to Steve's point about wide and tight, that starboard boat coming in on port is gonna be generally tight to the mark, and when they spin around, just set yourself up so you're carving up inside them as they slide out to the leeward shore. You can carve up inside of them, so
Yeah.
it just tactically, it works out really well for you on port coming in a seaman-like rounding
Yeah.
to carve up inside of them.
Right.
The starboard approach to the mark at the leeward mark needs to be
Deadly.
done far enough away from the mark that you can get on an actual port tack with speed before you go around the
Yeah,
mark.
so if
Otherwise, you're just killing
Yeah,
yourself
if you-
with speed.
Steve's right. If anytime you're doing a full 180 degrees in a boat like a Skeeter, oh my God, are you destroying your speed? I mean, it's just you're just getting crushed.
The only way out of that is luck.
Right.
He had a huge puff that came out of nowhere right
So-
after that.
Yeah. So when you're coming down here, downwind, that's a difficult maneuver to do a full 180 and come back up. That's just not pleasant. Well, let's go on with.
So are you better off to come down and then go out to the left instead of do a 180 to the right?
Well, what I would typically do there is ease, heat up, and then jibe on the port, turn downwind, so you can have a seaman-like routing. So if you're overstood on starboard coming in, you're gonna be better off tactically to reach up, jibe in line,
Yeah.
and then have a tactical rounding around the leeward mark. It's
Yeah.
safe, people know what you're doing.
Can you draw that with your finger?
Yeah. Let's go back to that.
You're gonna come across, if you're coming in here, you're gonna kind of reach up, come across here, and then turn down here, go straight down, so then you can turn back up and around.
And
You end up doing 180, but you do it by being able to build speed
Right.
back up on port
Right.
jibe after you've jibed.
Right.
You're making a turn that the boat likes, rather than the boat's gonna skid and slide around and be out of control.
I still think we're lacking a clear definition of when rounding.
Yeah, we are.
It doesn't exist.
The National Iceboat Authority has got that problem yet to solve, and we haven't solved it. It's
It's subjective at this point.
as to when a boat starts its rounding maneuver.
To me, it's not, it's very easy to see. I mean, that's just,
I agree with that.
it's very easy. I mean, from my perspective, I've never had a concern about when somebody's making a round. That's my personal opinion.
Well, in larger fleets, I think that's questionable. And where the level of competition is, got other things in mind, I think there needs to be a clear.
And the National Iceboat Authority agrees with you. We just haven't come up with one yet.
It doesn't exist, and it comes back to the sportsman side of it, in my opinion. You gotta be, this is, sailing in general has gotten so competitive on soft water, and there people are weaponizing rules. We gotta avoid it at this level in ice boating. Just do not weaponize the rules for an advantage. It says it right in the rules, and until we have a definition, we gotta do our best and avoid collisions.
And at this position, as David said, this is going to be a really difficult maneuver to do. You need to try to slow down, even jibe back over, get below it, keep your speed. Think about keeping your speed, but give him plenty of room to make his maneuver. As we're going through the course, this should be self-evident as well. Overtaking, just because you get up here and you're starting to go faster, you can't try to squeeze in and get, as you said, an overlap at that point. You've got to keep clear if you're the faster yacht coming from behind. Windward pin, and then opposite tacks at the windward pin. This one here. Obviously, this is just a classic port starboard. And that's why this is a really horrible position to put yourself in, for just so many reasons. Something to avoid.
It happened at the Night Nationals last year in the front of the fleet, and the only out was to tack, sail away, jibe, and come back in behind and lose 15 boats.
Yeah.
So it happens, and it was the safest way out. And, the person kept their speed and got back up into the top 5. So it was, again, you gotta be safe first, and you just can't force yourself in there.
That, Dave brings up a really good point. Sometimes if you're in a situation where you got a wall of starboard guys, you gotta bail. It's or cut it short and have them roll over the top of you, then go back. Your speed's just gonna be killed. And that's a hard position to be in, because you just like, gosh, you're just eating it so much. I mean, you're having to turn all the way down and let all of them go past you, but at least you've got your speed and you can capitalize on that. Yeah.
Is there room here for a little tactical?
I think we should chat about that, sure.
I'd like to show one maybe. When I used to do the A skaters, but earlier in this presentation, Jason talked about how this boat going up the first leg might only have to do one tack. But does that boat know where? It could be short, it could be long, wasting, stuff. So this boat has to do 2, but there is an advantage for this line. And I always was very happy to be starting on this line and go up to where I thought it was maybe a shift, maybe not, but go up this far, because when you go up this way and you get up here, you know exactly where to tack. And some of these guys may have gone too far, and some of these guys may have not. You know exactly where to go, and you do it back here somewhere where you still have plenty of speed to go around and be under pressure.
Burley says as soon as you can look straight down the rudder plank at the mark, you can tack.
It's a good reference
Yeah,
point.
and
It is a good reference point, but it works a lot better if you're a lot closer to the mark.
yeah. And
And if the
Jim,
wind
Jim,
doesn't shift.
Jim's right. If you're in a situation where you're able to tack over, that when you're rumbling across the course on port tack, boy, you can get a lot of information about what's going on. You can look below, see what the other boats are doing. Do you think you can take advantage of any shifts that come in? You can try to figure out the wind. That's a pretty nice tack to try to, figure out what's going on as you're approaching those guys. That's great advice.
And then sometimes you're